Here's Brody Brazil.
I try and keep the voicemail line as simple as it gets. If you've got something to say, you think it's worthy of a future YouTube video, phone that in right now at 8334-BRODY. I listen to all of the messages, and then I get to play back and respond to the very best ones, like right here on a future video.
Hey, Brody, this is Andrew from Columbia, Tennessee. This year we're seeing the NHL kind of go to a unfamiliar territory as far as outdoor games, having the Stadium Series in Tampa and the Winter Classic in Florida, Miami.
Right.
My question for you is, what future stadiums would you like to see the NHL host an outdoor game at? And is there a specific matchup you would like to see? Thanks.
Andrew, thank you for calling in from Columbia, Tennessee. I've always been a fan of the NHL's outdoor games, whether it's the Heritage Games, whether it's the Winter Classic, whether it's the Stadium Series. I just like to see the league doing something that's hard, but also rewarding, that turns into a spectacle. And I do understand the conversation that maybe it's gone on for so many years and they've done it so many times that maybe it's losing its luster. But I would also say that what they need to do now is expand a little bit away from doing big football stadiums and historic Major League Baseball venues. I've seen it at Fenway a couple times. I've seen it at Wrigley Field a couple times. I've seen it at Michigan in front of 100,000. I've seen it personally. I've been to the outdoor game at Levi's Stadium when the Sharks hosted the Kings 2015, 16, is that when it was? It was 2015, in front of 80,000. Like, it was awesome. But I think actually, Andrew, what we're looking to do here is maybe move away from the stadium stuff and go to more exotic and exquisite outdoor venues. Let's talk about the next generation of NHL outdoor games. And to your point, January 2nd of next year, it's going to be the Rangers and Panthers at Marlins Stadium in Miami. And then on February 1st, Boston and the Bolts at Raymond James Stadium. So again, a baseball stadium and a football stadium. The baseball stadium has a roof on it, so if there's any kind of problems, they can cover it. Probably not on January 2nd. Then February 1st, home of the Tampa Bay Bucks is where the Lightning will host the Bruins. For me, and I get it, what the NHL has been looking for are these aerial shots of 80, 90,000 fans watching a hockey game in a place you normally wouldn't see it. But I think I'd rather sacrifice attendance for atmosphere. And you've already seen the thumbnail image I know I'm going to use on this video. Do you remember the Lake Tahoe game? Now, that was a different time and era. That was during the pandemic, and they didn't have a crowd there, so they specifically didn't build any bleachers for this game, but they literally put an NHL rink on the fairway of a golf course at South Lake Tahoe. And the lake and the mountains, the snow-capped mountains off in the distance. Again, you've already clicked on the thumbnail. You saw what that looked like. Can we go back to more things like that? Like, we've done the stadiums quite well, and we can go back to the stadiums quite well. But how about Lake Tahoe on the border of California and Nevada? Just do that. Do that again. Lake Louise, you could have the Battle of Alberta. Simple as that. A game in Central Park of New York City. Now, I get it. We're not talking about having a lot of fans there. This would have to be an event made for television. All of these, because the build-up, the room, the space for bleachers, it just doesn't exist. You got to think about this differently. Niagara Falls, Mount Rushmore, the list could go on and on. In fact, in the comments section below right now, tell me a place you think I'm missing here. Give me an idea of a place where, look, it has to be big enough to put a rink. It's got to have the right facilities where they could build up some dressing rooms. They have to make the infrastructure to host this game properly. They've got to have hotels to stay at. It's not as simple as, throw a dart at the board and see what sticks. This really does have to have some backing to it. But what are some reasonable places? I think all of those places could work. So that's the venue side of this, right? I think the NHL needs to just branch away from big stadiums and old ballparks. They can do that. Now, maybe if you have to cut it down to one a year and you got to put more work and effort and focus into the one game, maybe that's what they should do. So how about the teams involved? Now, I think we all know there have been a lot of frequent participants in these outdoor games. Like Montreal, they've had 4 outdoor games. The Leafs have had 4. The Caps have had 4. Boston's had 5. The Wings have had 5. Rangers have had 6. The Flyers and the Penguins have had 6. and Chicago's had 7. 7 different outdoor games for Chicago. Like, the Hawks are in a game every other year, sometimes back-to-back years. And of course, I'm biased. I'm a Sharks person saying we got to host it once, and that was a decade ago. And we haven't even gotten to be the visiting team in another outdoor game since then recently. So I'm just saying, I realize who's popular here. I realize where the ratings are here. But diversity has to be important in getting different games and different teams involved. And yeah, of course, you want some of your superstars involved, but the spectacle should be the location and the idea of pulling this game off more than, hey, we're stopping here and let's see how many fans we can get. I also want to point out and say one more thing that I think would help the next generation of NHL outdoor games. Like, those dates are not permanent right there. You don't know that every January 2nd, there's going to be an outdoor game. But wouldn't that help the league's cause? Wouldn't that help for consistency and predictability and making it a traditional annual thing? If the NHL said and they used to have it on New Year's Day, and then they kind of got away from that because of bowl games, and I think there were NFL football games on one year. So pick a date, stick with your date, make it predictable, make it an expectation that on this date, this is the day, first, I don't know, Saturday of the new year, whatever it is. This is the day where we watch the outdoor game, and stick to it. But right now, bouncing around from here to there to kind of make it fit, I don't know that it's ever truly going to latch. Let me know what you think about the next generation of NHL outdoor games. Comments down below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you back here next time.